Hi there. Hello, one. Hello, all. Welcome back. It's been a while since I've spoken about Korean films. You're going to have to excuse my appearance. Normally, I would have shaved for something like this, but you could probably still see my cheek is puffy. My mouth is 15 different flavors of broken. Um, I don't know, gum disease, tooth decay, everything that 4 out of 5 dentists think you should avoid. I have it all going on at the same time, but, we're gonna trek through it, just deal with my ratty face in the meantime. People in the chat already. What's up, Dale? What's up, Aaron? What is up, Trevor? What's up, Rhapsody Reviews? Rhapsody, I poked in on one of your videos before. You have a really strong intro. The only bit of advice, you seem pretty new. You don't necessarily need a cold open for everything. Cold opens are normally for some sort of comedic event. But you have a very strong intro, so you know you're doing things right. So just keep at it. Um, what else we have? Tim, hi, or should I say you? Oh, that's not many O's. That's you. Stiff kittens grow a bum fluff beard. Is that a sexual position? I don't even know what that is. Like the profile picture. Yeah, are you smoking a Freddy knife? Is there a Freddy knife in your mouth as if to be smoken upon? It looks good. It's yeah, yeah. Thoughts on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. We're here to talk Korean. Unless there's some Korean remake of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, then I watched it as a kid, as did every self-respecting American. I don't know what to tell you. No, I'm not smoking. All right, well then, good job. Yeah, yeah. Don't listen to me. What the fuck do I know? Talk about how Halloween. You know what? I really should talk about. Look, Cody talking to me from Twitch. Bitch can't even talk to me from YouTube. In Korean, I should look it up. I wonder if they would. I wonder if the NDA counts as in other languages. What's up, Alan? How are you? That is, you've given me an idea. Or if I just speak in tongues and then give you a decipher as to what the hell I'm talking about. And me advertising this over the internet probably is the furthest bit from intelligence. All right, so uh where am I? So this I saw I've been off the grid a bit, and I took in a bunch of Asian, Korean. I think they're all Korean. Korean cinema, most of which, I think 4 of which were on the Haya sub channel on Amazon Prime, and maybe 1 or 2 came from my uncle. I guess the first we will get to is the gangster. Wait, hold on. The gangster, the cop, and the devil. Hey, give me that. All right. So that is your poster. I will give you a synopsis. Directed by I'm gonna fuck every last one of these names up. Apologies to everybody. I don't intentionally mean to screw these names up. I'm gonna assume it's WON-TAE Lee. There is no synopsis. Cool. A crime boss teams up with a cop to track down a serial killer. That's your synopsis. Great, great, great. So They did it for me. So the guy, this guy, the guy from Train to Busan, you can't miss him. This dude's fucking jacked, and he's in something else that either I have watched or have ready to watch. He's a big fucking wide dude that could certainly work in the WWE if he wanted to, or I don't know, so insert wrestling federation here. He's just a big dude. You wouldn't buy him losing many fights. And in the orangish light there on the side of this poster is a police officer who's hell-bent on just catching people, including the gangster. He keeps pestering our gangster. I need to find a spot where I stop and do not spoil. I'm still in the first act. So the gangster runs this illegal. It's not like slot machines. I want to say they're like slot machines, but they're not. And they're like rigged to, I'm assuming, lose. He's got this den full of slot machine things, and they're not always, well, they're not up to code, I guess is the best way to put it. And the cop's a bit of a pest. The problem with the cop is his chief is, let's just say, under the payroll of the gangster. Every Korean movie I've seen so far, and that's less than 20, mind you, so, you know, a very small sample space. Cops are fucking idiots. That's what I've gotten from Korean films so far. Cops are morons and should do better jobs. That's number one. While all this is happening, we get just this divorced situation, this scene that makes no fucking sense. That has nothing to do with anything. Guy gets rear-ended, and the guy who rear-ends him, a car accident. And the guy who's in the front, who got hit in the from behind, he gets out and he starts taking pictures, and finally the guy in the back car gets out, and the guy in the front who's taking pictures and all this, and for insurance purposes, he's like, all right, let's change insurance cards so that we can get this straightened out. And the guy in the back is like, no, it's okay. And the guy's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, I have damage to my car. This is not okay. And then he's like, oh yeah, I'll take care of it. And he's like, all right, well, let's exchange cards. And whoa, what was that? That was scary. So he reaches out, gives the guy in the front, gives him his business card while still taking pictures. And that's when the guy in the back just fucking loses his shit and beats the ever-living piss out of him. And the poor bastard in the front gets pummeled to death in the back seat of his own car. Murder. There it is. It's a hit and kill. Not a hit and run so much, but just a hit and murder. And that is Mr. Pink here. Oh, I always do it backwards. That's Mr. Pink here. Although I don't think we know his face so much. He's kind of hidden. Just murders a dude, leaves him dead. The funny thing is, he doesn't do much to. I think they find the body. There's not much going on with his fit. I might be confusing movies. I watch so many let me try to stick to basics as much as possible. One of these movies, somebody does something to their fingerprints, and I'm not sure if it's this one or not. I think it is this one. Regardless, so the gangster with this cop up his ass and sort of out of his hair, but the cop is hell-bent on getting this gangster guy. Now suddenly the cop is led to the case of the car accident / murder. Cop just wants to do his job, so he's kind of on that too. So the gangster goes and does gangster things, meets up with another low-level gangster person, and does gangstery things, ripping out teeth of people that he feels are threatening him, and has to drive home. It's late. He didn't drink. He says, I'll drive. And so he drives home on his own. And while stopped at a light, I think I'm blazing past half an hour here in about however long I've been speaking. So he's stopped at a light, and a familiar white car rolls up behind him, and blammo hits him. And because this guy's a gangster, he's probably going to be a little less, let's get the insurance company involved. So he gets out. I forget the exact conversation they have, but they have a discussion, and the gangster, like, almost immediately is suspicious of the dude that hit him. And the dude in the back is he's holding, he's no guns in these Korean films, lots of knives. Big difference between Korean films and American films. When they're holding knives. And the devil tries to take over the gangster. And again, this is the dude from Train to Busan who's as wide as I am tall. He's a big fucking dude. And of course he's big enough and ready to defend himself. And they get into it, just rolling over cars. The guy keeps swiping at him, stabbing him in the chest, breaking glass, this, that, the other. The gangster manages to get a couple of shots in himself, stabs the devil himself in a spot that is important later. And the devil somehow gets away. And the gangster's pissed that they take the gangster to a hospital. And the gangster wants to make sure that nobody gets a hold of this guy. He wants to make sure that this is his get. No, he doesn't want the cops to know. He doesn't want anybody to know. He wants payback. He said, this guy, I've seen people out for revenge. This dude wasn't out for revenge. At first, his lackeys think that the underbosses that he was just at thought that the devil was sent out to take the gangster out because he made them look foolish by ripping out their teeth and putting it in a shot glass and making the guy drink. And unfortunately, things get a little out of control. Some misunderstandings happen. The cop stops by because he recognizes a lot of the similarities between the first car death, and this was very close to the similar MO. And of course, the gangster ain't giving the cop shit because the gangster wants to get this guy himself. And that is where I will leave you on this, because it's a very intriguing movie where it tests the line of good and evil, and where you can bend the line between doing something for right or wrong. And the cop is as straight edge as there is in this movie, and the gangster isn't. And the devil just gets off on fucking shit up. And that came out in 2019, directed by WON-TAE. I do believe that if you have Amazon for an extra $2 a month, you can have this on the HOUSEMAID service, or not, or just not, or you could just rent it. Let me get to the comments really quick. All right, you guys are just yatting to each other. What's up, Aaron? How are you? Yeah, it's an interesting movie. The only hurdle I will tell people is, and this is a hurdle that I've had to overcome and have slowly overcome over the course of 14 months, is you have to get used to, if you're not used to it, you have to get used to subtitles. It's hard to, for me at least, it's hard to read a movie, to read the dialogue, and then things are happening on screen while I'm reading. I have to kind of split my attention, and it gets difficult at times. But this movie, I felt was quite good. I'm not going to rank any of these. I think when I hit 20, I'm already at like 18 or so. When I hit 20, I'll do another top 10, or I'll just rank the 20 that I've seen so far. But that is that. That I would consider a thriller. Korean thrillers are my new thing right now. What I like about this film is how steeped in moral ambiguity it is. Whenever American films try to do this, they're criticized for having unlikable characters, but foreign films aren't afraid of it. Exactly, Jacob. And that, with the exception of the killer, you can understand the motive of everybody. And some people get tangled up in this story that it's just the way things happen. Some people get fucked up. Some people die. Some people whatever. And it's they get caught up in these situations, but it's all while they're doing something that they believe strongly in. And you know, you're right, Jacob. An American film would fuck it up trying way too hard to define reasons. Sometimes things just happen. Jason, how are you? Hope you realize I have your shrine open back there. All right, so that was the Gangster, the Cop, the Devil, 2019. Again, not hard to find, especially in American television. Amazon. I think you could even do a 7 or 30-day free trial of HOUSEMAID, which covers at least 4 of these movies I'm talking about today. And I'm not kidding, at least 4, because that's how I watched it. Let's get rid of you. Next is the newest one, which is Time to Hunt. Wait a minute, why'd you go? There you are. There you went. Nope. Yep. All right, so Time to Hunt, which is on Netflix. You'll have to excuse me. The amount of spit that gathers in my mouth with my teeth like this is just unheard of. Here, let me drink my teeth decay juice. Time to Hunt, which came out last year, is the newest movie on this list. It is a film about four uh, uh, not bad. They're teenagers. They're young guys who uh, they rob a casino. Well, they don't rob a casino. They rob what we would call here a social club. A social club where you can gamble, and they realize that there's a fuckload of money in the casino. This takes place in the somewhat near future, where cash has kind of been, I don't know, something's happened to cash, where American paper money is the only thing more value. I forgot that end of it, but Korean won, is that what it is? Won, WON. That money is hard to come by and or has less value, but this casino place has lots of American dollars, and that's the best way to go. This guy who just gets out of prison, I was going to say college, has this grand idea to rob this social club, illegal casino. It's what I'll call it. One of his friends works there. Turns out that this friend owes him money, and you're kind of deceived to understand why this third party is a part of the plan. Turns out he works there, so he's the inside guy. So 3 + 1. There's the inside guy, that's the one, and the three buddies. Two guys have been waiting for their leader, who was in the clink all this time, and they set up this plan to rob the illegal casino, and have an incredibly easy access to guns, bulletproof vests, and the like, and they managed to pull it off. Think of Point Break meets what was that movie? What was that movie with Ben Mendelsohn and Brad Pitt? Fuck. I'm trying to think what the hell the name of that song is. Song. What's that movie with Killing Me Softly? That's it. Think of Total Recall. Think of Point Break meets, and I just had it. Christ almighty. I shouldn't have done this. Think of what did I just say? Killing Me Softly meets Point Break, and just throw them in a blender and throw it in a South Korean environment. That's essentially what Time to Hunt is, especially here. Well, for the most part, because Killing Me Softly is essentially the same thing, where they rob a social club and they're on the run and just getting picked off. So the guy, they get their money, they get away, and they figure out that the guy who's been in jail this whole time has this plan of running away to this beautiful island, and then they don't have to ever worry about money. And Killing Them Softly meets Point Break with a little bit of Strange Days. I have not seen Strange Days, so I can't add opinion to that. Interesting. I'll have to check that out now. Jacob, have you seen all 6 of the movies I have on this list? Um, so this is where the bunt cake gets flipped upside down. Um, so the guy on the inside goes back to work. I think it's the next day. Um, I'm not remembering the time frame correctly, but the security guy from the a social club, like he specializes in where people could get guns, where this could possibly have happened from, all this other shit. He just knows everything, and he interrogates the guy. All right, fair enough. Good, you could help me then. Um, it just turns out that we don't know what string of people he's been interrogating, but it turns out he interrogates the dude that gave these guys their guns and all of their army tech and gear. And the guy at the illegal arms facility is being pressed by the security guard guy from the social club, and he tries to act tough, and he gets threatened, and he's like, "How dare you threaten me? I have two security guards." Um, I'll save that for you guys to enjoy on your own. That scene um, doesn't go too well for some people. Um, so the security guard guy has a very very clear idea of what type of guns there are, what type of equipment was used, and he essentially becomes the Terminator. The guy goes back to work, and he's like ultra shady because all the co-employees are like whispering, and he like tried joking about the night before, and everybody's like, no, 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 shh. And he automatically figures out something's up. I should probably quit now and not even tell them I'm quitting. And he heads to the bathroom at the social club, and tries his best to leave. There's security guards at this point watching the employees that every second they're watching him, and he's like, "I'm just going to the bathroom. What's your deal?" And they wait outside the bathroom. Dude's on the run. He calls the leader of this group and tells them to go. He'll catch up with them. And the rest of this movie is these guys on the run from essentially what is the fucking Terminator. Um, as much as I enjoy Killing Me Softly, let me take that back. I don't enjoy Killing Me Softly that much. I happen to enjoy Ben Mendelsohn's acting quite a bit, even though he's not long for that movie. Time to Hunt takes that premise and just throws the T 1000, 2000. This dude's like indestructible, and he knows everything that's going to happen. He's following them everywhere. At one point, he catches up with one of them and starts toying with them, and it becomes a pseudo horror movie for a bit, and really 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 fun time I have with this movie. I like being excited, especially with something that feel like the first 20 minutes you just think it's going to be like a fucking chase crime fucking, you know, action movie, and it really isn't. It has a couple of flavors, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it quite a bit. Yes, yes. Look at this. What the fuck, Skyman? Skyman's going to correct me on the directors' names. That's crystal clear. All right, so that's Time to Hunt. Again, all of these, where's my list? Where's my master list? All of these I would suggest. Some of these wouldn't crack my top 10 for Korean cinema, but I've only seen fucking 17 Korean films. So, take that with a grain of salt. I've seen probably the best of the best. I've seen the 5-star stuff, and now I'm working my way down to 4, 3, blah, blah, blah. Next, this I've seen most recently. And where are you? We'll get rid of you. Do you hear that? That's not me. That's a different floor. Just to fill you in on how incredibly perfect the recording situation is here. Okay, so that is next. The title of this film is Confession of Murder from 2012, directed by Byung Gil Jeong. Skyman, did I get that right? Byung Gil Jeong? Oh, fucking hell, what is that? Stick figure, sideways stick figure head. The number 7. Yeah, it would take me about 16 years to learn how to say hello in Korean. Is this about, are you referring, Jacob, to the previous film we were talking about with Time to Kill? Time to Kill, it did, they do action movie it at times. Some of it felt a little Fast and Furious-ish towards the end. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean that in a bit of a watered down fashion, like when somebody's at a beach and having flashbacks and stuff like that. Look at this. Thank you, Sky. Byun Jil Jung. I'm going to say Jill. Byun Gil Jung. I've said it right. Oh. Byung Gil Jung. There. We got the name out of the way. Okay, so this, I didn't expect it to be a movie where you get twisted and you get that fucking, that ending where you're like, wait, what? Oh, okay. It, the Saw ending. Just play that Saw music for any time an ending just totally fucks your shit up. Nope, did it wrong again. Get used to that fucking smile, because you're gonna hate it for about an hour. So this dude on the bottom here, nope, I did it wrong again. The dude with the scar, he is a detective, and this takes place a couple of years back. He's trying to catch a killer, and the killer holds a woman hostage, and he says something like, her blood is on your hands, kills the lights in the little shop, which, although I think it's a restaurant. And I don't know if the cop shoots. I don't remember. That was very early in the movie. So they go on a chase. Another great thing about Korean movies, foot chases are no fucking joke. When people go on foot chases in Korean movies, they go on foot chases, and they go and go and go and go, and it feels legit. You could have your fucking French Connection. I don't mean to offend French Connection fans, but I've watched what, 17 Korean movies. I think there's been like 4 foot chases that have just wowed me. Gil, like Gil. Okay. So the guy with the scar gets into a chase, a run out with the guy who held a woman hostage and is suspected of murdering others. And they're running all over the fuck town. They're on rooftops and alleys. It's raining. It's terrible. I would have lost my gas after about 2 building tops, but these guys are fucking going. It's dark. It's wet. I need to know how much this guy gets paid because none of it's worth it. And eventually the cop gets caught up, and the killer is perfectly COVID friendly. He's got a mask over his face and like a fisherman's hat on. And the cop is just spent. He's just spent from everything. And I don't remember the exact dialogue. This is bad. I should take notes, especially if I'm going to cover 6 movies at once. So the reason for that scar is the killer, the suspected killer, slices him, which allows him to get away. He holds the knife to his mouth and gives him a half joker. And he says something to the effect of something along the lines of "Don't make me come back for your mother." Something along those lines. So we fast forward a couple of years. This guy's a mess. I would be 50 times worse. I wouldn't leave the house. People keep asking him to fix his scar. He says, "I won't do it until I found this creep." And sure enough, out of nowhere, just presto, out of nowhere. No, it's not that. No. This is very important. Very bad. See, this is where I would edit, and you wouldn't even hear me say this part. The statute of limitations for the murders has just ended, and is fucking 15 years. By the way, if you want to kill somebody, do it in fucking Korea and sit out a decade and a half and you're fine. So the statute of limitations ends on all these murders that this dude is suspected for. And there's a news conference, I think the next day, where a book is being released, and that's where Smiley Face comes involved. This dude, I fucking can't. No, I had it. No. All right, I'm pointing to this. Yeah, that's it. This dude has a news conference where he has written a book, essentially the O.J. Simpson "If I Did It" book, but way more than if. So this book lays out all the murders that this person is wanted for. And people are wondering why do this now? And he has this smug cunt smile throughout everything, where he feigns this remorse. He has this apology where he looks into camera and just says, I just want to be absolved. I feel terrible for everybody. I want my story out there. I don't want people to have pain anymore. I want some resolution to the families of those who are suffering. And he does this. I'm trying to think how far I can go with this. He does like this tour where he goes to a bunch of different families that have been affected by the murders. One dude, he goes to the house and he just kneels at the dude's doorstep, and the father of one of the victims just fucking slaps him, and he just takes it. And of course, this film is a commentary on so many different things. This guy, of course, has a fan club now because he's charming and he's got that fucking smile for days. And they keep booking him for this TV show. Okay, thank you. I have not, Stiff. Thank you. So he keeps doing like these news debates where people are asking him about the murders, and he's, you know, he's willing to do it. People almost think he's a bit of a fame whore. Yeah. Watch the movie. He's you hate his smugness inside 2 minutes. You're just like, dude, go fuck yourself with that smirk. Very good job acting, by the way. Extremely good job, and the way they take everything and just make you feel like shit is hysterical. So what I could say is he does a series of TV shows, and, you know, they have call-ins where people ask certain questions. You know, are you single? Things like that. He's like full blown. I would say a lot of this is modeled after Ted Bundy, and how gaga us fucking idiot Americans got over a guy who killed a ton of people. But another phone call comes in, and the guy asks him a specific question about a murder. And you could read it on his face that he's not completely understanding. And there was another body, apparently. And this caller has the location of the other body, and he wants to prove that this guy didn't do all the killings. And that is where I will leave you with that. I kind of took you far on that. That phone call happens at least halfway through the movie, because this Smiley punch me in the face here does a fantastic job of like, they build his anti-niceness. I don't know what the word I'm looking for is. That they really do a fantastic job of making you believe that he's just an asshole. He doesn't really remorse the murders, and he's just going after it for the fame. Make the highest selling book like in recent times. It's really good. You have to write it out, as is the case for most Korean movies. This one I didn't expect to be a typical Korean. Hey, by the way, by the third act, we're just going to take it, flip it, and fuck you. You're gonna sit back and scratch your head for 10 minutes after you're done watching this movie, because we just fucked you in the head. This is one of those movies. 2012. So maybe at some point I'll get somebody else, Jacob, if you'd like. Shit, it seems like you've seen all these. I'd like to discuss spoilers with some of these, especially some of these holy shit we just stuck it in your ass. How do you feel about that movies? Because this on the surface just feels like, two dudes going after each other. This police officer wanting to get a revenge with the guy who's responsible for tormenting him all these years. And it's more than that. That is that for Confession of a Murder. We'll stop that. This one, which is a Stiff Kittens supplied film, which is The Housemaid. Not to be confused with The Handmaid's Tale. Wait, do I have that right? Sang So Im? That's not right, is it? It's right. Directed by Sang So Im. A man's affair with his family's housemaid leads to dark consequences. Oh, where to start? Again, get Handmaid's Tale out of your head. This takes place 2010. Let's just say it takes place in 2010. Handmaid's Tale takes place fucking decade, hundreds of years ago. Wait, hold on. If it's on, nope. If it's on the channel, watch Park Chan-wook's I'm a Cyborg. You meant to say Park Chan-wook, right? Will do. This is what I've been hanging out for. Yes, I agree. I agree. It's making me really second think jumping to every single American movie that comes out because, granted, small sample size. I want to watch a garbage Korean movie so that I can weigh out the curve a little bit. But all these movies that people keep suggesting to me from Korea, fuck, even an okay Korean movie is better than a fucking okay American movie. It just seems like they care more, and maybe that is the case. They're trying to get our attention. I have not seen that. That is on Netflix, if I'm not mistaken. Correct? I do not have access to Netflix right now, but I do plan on seeing it. That is not in this little package of films. Okay, so Housemaid, oddly enough, opens up, and I was really nervous. I was extremely nervous because the movie opens up like with all these handheld fucking like documentary style shots of the city. People just walking around the street, people at a fucking club. What do they call that shit? Where you're karaoke, restaurants. It's just the city, and it's all these different shots, and the camera's just fucking blah. And I was nervous because I thought that was what the whole fucking movie was going to be, and I was going to punch Emily. I wasn't. Relaxed. I wasn't. But turns out it's done for realism, I think, because a woman commits suicide, jumps off the top of a building, and for the most part, people carry about their business. And see, this is where This is where reading dialogue and nuance slip past me. This is where I need to watch Korean films. Anything, any movie that I have to read, like certain nuance slips past me because I'm reading dialogue. I'm not picking up on tone. I wasn't quite sure if that was somehow, are you guys still here? If that was somehow attached to the events of the later film. Anywho, I don't think there's much connection other than our lead female walks past where this corpse had committed suicide. She too lived in a city and needed a job and got a phone call, and the job was one working for an extremely well-off family, not unlike the family in Parasite. I'm telling you, these movies, cops are stupid. The difference in class is way too high. That's it. There's Korea in film. Cops are stupid. Difference in class is way too high. There's Korean cinema, as far as I've experienced, wrapped up. Oh, class difference. Oh, cops are morons. Okay, got it. Thank you. So she gets a job at this well-off family's home, and the female of the house is pregnant. She's hired to this woman who's right here. Again, I can't do it. Her right here, just cleaning the bathtub there, but seconds before that image, not very friendly for TV. The way she was. We'll get to that. So she's a nice young lady, but the head maid, I want to call her, a little bit of an older woman, is laying out the law and telling her what to say, what to do, who to look at. Don't look at this person. Don't do that. Make sure you do this. Make sure you do that. The rules are being laid out. And then she finally meets the couple. There's only two people that actually live in the house with a bunch of employees. There's the dude who's just fucking looks fantastic, and the wife who is pregnant and needs a little bit of extra help as she is preparing for birth. Okay, so as the housemaid takes up different chores around the house. Yes, Jacob, that is absolutely accurate. Holy shit, they're abysmal. As she's taking up chores, she starts washing. This image here on this poster, the scene there is either she has no awareness of what the fuck she's doing, or I don't know. So she's cleaning out a bathtub after, was it the wife who had taken a bath? Anywho, she was cleaning out the bathtub, and she's dressed like that. The skirt's not the highest thing in the world. She's scrubbing deep. It's a deep tub, as you can tell. it's up to her chest, and she's on her, not even totally on her knees. And as she's reaching over, scrubbing the bottom and stuff, you could, hey, she's wearing white panties. Look at that. You could actually see the color of her panties. God forbid she wear black because she has a black dress on, but nope, nope. She bends like this, and you get a nice little look down Broadway. Thank God she's at least wearing panties, and the man of the house, of course, sees this and stores that in the old memory bank. So shortly after that, the housemaid is in her room, and I think she's reading a book. She's in bed reading a book, and the man of the house brings by wine. Wine is a big thing in this movie. Everybody's drinking wine, and the old lady always brings them wine, and she fucking steals a little glass for herself. And the old lady, for the longest time, I couldn't tell whose side she was on and what her deal was, but I just never trusted her. And that's all I'll say about that. So the woman, the housemaid, is in bed. The pregnant mom is, all being pregnant and useless, up a couple of floors away. This house is gigantic, which is it's bigger than the fucking. It's way bigger than the. What is the name of your movie, sir? Holy shit! It's way bigger than the Parasite house. It by double, I would say. Hello, Carl Weezer from Twitch. How are you? Thank you for dropping in. I hope you're enjoying this. And I want tests. I want test results because I'm not giving child support until I get them. Oh, yes, that's right. Thank you, Stiff Kittens. This is the second child. See? Thank you, Stiff Kittens, for the assistance. This is the second child from the family. I should maybe notes next time. Let me prepare like I'm actually doing a show that's being broadcast to people. There's a little girl that has befriended, or maybe the housemaid's befriended a little girl. They're very close, and the housemaid actually has a bit of a confidant in a little girl, and the little girl believes the housemaid. That is something that should be just thrown in the back of your head. All of these movies, I would suggest at least trying to watch. If you can't get through it, you can't get through it. But she's in her bedroom reading, and the man of the house decides, I'm just going to start fingering at your body. And I don't mean fingering in the area you would think. He just kind of works his way around her shirt, and she just lays down and takes it because, boss is gonna boss. Eventually he works her shirt off and kind of touches her. I can't remember if he was just topless or whatever the fuck. How naked was he? Was he naked? I'm blending a couple of scenes together. And he sexually accosts her, and she doesn't know what to do. From there, she can't tell if he likes her, if she's a toy to him, what that means to the relationship in the house. And she does not want to have sex with the man of the house, which is the thing that I will leave you with, is the fact that, you know, she's not with anybody. She's the dude's rich, he's chiseled, he's got a bunch of cum gutters on his chest. And so she's not turned off, but that's where I'll leave you on this, because this definitely does go for a little bit of a ride. Again, the movie's The Housemaid by Sang-Soo Im. This is a movie that was sent to me by Stiff Kittens, who also reminded me about the Kid Actor. Kid Actor plays an important part. And what do we have? 2 more? We do. All right, so what the fuck are they doing down there? Sounds like they're juggling couches, I swear to God. This one, thanks to Bud Blue, this one came on my radar. This is Assassination by Dong Hoon Choi. Let me make sure I get that right. Wow, it's not even up there. Dong Hoon Choi. While Korea is occupied by the Japanese army in 1933, the resistance plans to kill the Japanese commander, but their plan is threatened by a traitor within their group. Also, the enemy's forces are hunting them down. This is the movie that I will do my best to skate around, because I do not know my history of the eastern half of the planet, and I don't know how much of this is true. I will say this, as somebody, this feels like some version of a war movie. Two sides of a battle that are trying to assassinate somebody to help end a war. What I will say is the tone is light. It definitely feels like, in tone, it feels like Ocean's 11, like that kind of hokiness, which isn't a bad thing. It's just, when I went into this expecting, you know, people in a war movie trying to commit assassination, and here we are, with like team building. It's very Ocean's 11-y, where, you know, they're putting together the perfect team, and hijinks ensue, and people are joking a hell of a lot more than I expected. The tone's a little off. It's a long movie. I didn't expect it to be so long. I watched it in 2 halves. I didn't hate it. It's not to say that I'm in any rush to watch it again, but I certainly wouldn't turn Bud Blue away if they wanted to send me a copy of this. Bud Blue, of course, who sent me a copy of another movie. Shit, that'll get it done. Me forgetting the title. So it's about the Japanese-Korean War in 1933. Again, no knowledge, just a dumb American here splitting out my truth. And I believe one woman plays 2 women. There's twins in this film. and I think that the same actress plays the two different women. Um, it this is let me try to compare this to a an American war film that really doesn't feel right with tone. Um, if you've ever watched something like, oh, I don't know, where the stakes don't feel nearly as high as they should be. I keep thinking of that Bruce Willis movie from the early 2000s. Stiff Kittens, thank you. A Bittersweet Life, thank you. Maybe they should send you the next movie. um, ow, that actually hurt. Uh, what the hell is the name of that Bruce Willis movie? Or Wind Talkers wasn't terrible. The tone was a little funky. I'm not saying Wind Talkers is a bad movie. It just had a very, very similar tone. Armageddon? No, 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 no. It was Bruce Willis who was captured in a. I'm going to look it up. Captured in a Nazi camp. It was very much like The Great Escape, only less less hokey. Hearts War, that is it. It's Hearts War. Oh, do you? That's good. I'm glad. Um, Hearts War to me felt I didn't hate it. I enjoyed the movie. I just felt like the tone didn't really match what we were going for with the movie. Assassination, I enjoyed the movie. I just felt like the tone didn't match what we were going for. I think I ended up giving this movie 3 stars. So there's that. I don't know how much of this is genuinely true. I hate watching something where I have little to no knowledge of, especially if it's based on some sort of truth. So, yeah, maybe whenever Bud Blue sends me the Steelbook, I'll revisit it. No pressure, Bud Blue. All right, that leads us to the last one, which is probably my favorite of the lot here, and for like a cajillion reasons. Let me double check to make sure. Yep. And it is Memoir of a Murderer by Shin Yon Won. Do I have that name right? Let me check the. I just spelled Memori, and now I can't go back. Here, let me give you again with these fucking IMDb. If it's from another country, they're like, yeah, just put 3 words up there. People don't care. Here's the synopsis from IMDb. A former serial killer with Alzheimer's fights to protect his daughter from her psychotic boyfriend. This is a very this one hits home. As I don't know how many of you know this, but I do have a neurological disorder that they're trying to figure out what it is. There's something wrong with my brain where eventually I will have some form of dementia. Just, there are a couple of variations. So this kind of scares me. Luckily, I haven't committed murder yet. Yet. So this does not play out in a linear fashion, although it does it. As far as our main character is concerned, it does play out in a linear fashion. So our lead character is a bit of a murderer, serial killer. And again, a car accident triggers things. Car accidents, bad police, and fucking class warfare. There it is. That's all Korean movies are. Accidents, bad police, and class warfare. There you go. That's Korean cinema. I wrapped it up. Class over. No. So this dude gets in a car accident, and you could tell when he's having a bit of a session because his eye does this. I can't even do it. He does this like twitchy thing with his eye that he's fading. He's off the grid a bit. And while he's driving along, he just fucking rear ends this guy. Are they really? I have watched a fair amount of French Extremities. I should open the door to that too. So he rear ends this dude, and the guy who gets rear ended is like, "It's okay. We don't have to worry about this." Again, anytime you hit somebody and they say it's okay, be suspicious. There's the first lesson I've learned from Korea. If somebody says don't worry about it, they're a killer. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. So what he notices is red fluid dripping from the back of the trunk that he just destroyed with his giant box truck, which could be, it could be transmission fluid. Transmission fluid looks red, even though transmission fluid is located in the engine. Maybe those Korean cars like to switch things up. Maybe not. So this guy who has Alzheimer's is trying to remember this car that is leaking fluid that appears to be blood, and trying to remember location. He has a personal recorder. I don't know if that was stated because of his Alzheimer's or if he just had it just like to take notes. As a comedian, when I was on the road, I had something like that. Got to make it about you, CP. And as the movie carries on, he makes it his business to at least find this guy and figure out what's going on. As there's more and more murders happening, there's serial killings happening in the area. And he also, our lead character, Mr. What is your name? I'm going to use a name for once. Is it Byung-soo? Yeah, it is Byung-soo. Byung-soo is our lead character, who also has a daughter. Yoon-hee? I couldn't handle Danish words. Korean words are killing me. So Young-soo and Yoon-hee, father-daughter tandem, and Yoon-hee has got her hands full with a father who has Alzheimer's, and he's trying to take care of her, but every now and again he loses his shit and ends up, really freaking her out. He just wants her protected from this dude and this, that, and the other. He's making it his business to find this cop that he has very limited knowledge of. And it turns out that the cop knows who he is. But our lead does not know that because he has Alzheimer's. And this police officer, turns out that the guy who he hit was a police officer. Whoops, forgot to drop that major nugget into the story. The guy that he rear-ended is a police officer. Wasn't in a cop car, by the way. He was in his own, personal vehicle. So the police officer is taunting him and eventually starts dating our lead character's daughter. And because this guy has Alzheimer's, it seems like every other time he's furious. He wants to strangle the guy, and sometimes he's doesn't know anything about anything. So there's this cat and mouse game going on where our lead who's got Alzheimer's does have friends. He has this guy that he drinks with every now and again at a local bar. It doesn't look like a bar. It looks like a mini market where they drink beers out in front. He also is a cop. And how far do I want to go? Somehow our lead character gets a hold of blood. Yes, he gets a hold of blood that was in the trunk, and he hands it to the police officer, his buddy, the police officer, not the guy fucking his daughter, and asks him to help him and look into this. Could it be one of the victims of these serial murders? And turns out it's goat's blood, pig's blood. It turns out it's not human blood. And the guy's like, just imagine not being completely confident in your brain, thinking you have something completely figured out, and then being told, no, you don't have it right. I have those fears daily, so I can completely relate to just how gutting those feelings are. And the guy's just totally shattered. The next thing you know, I'm like fucking pinching this movie down to 20 minutes, and I'm trying my best not to give away the second half. What I'll leave you with is the cop who he's playing cat and mouse with asks the daughter to marry him, and our lead character at his earliest convenience tries to get the daughter away, and calls a taxi and tries to get her just away from town for a couple of days while he goes and seeks out this corrupt cop for some vengeance murder. And I'll leave it up to you with my just completely broken synopsis on whether or not you should watch this. I've done none of these movies any fucking service. But of those 6 movies, Gangster, Cop, Devil, I would give above a 4. Time to Hunt, I would give above a 4. Confession of Murder, I would give above a 4. Housemaid, I would give above a 4. Assassination, I'd go just under a 4. And Memoir of a Murder, I might go high 4, maybe even 5, out of 5 on all of those. These are all, I'm really getting lucky with these Korean films. And again, if you have Amazon Prime, in America, there is this service called Hiya, HI-YAH, that is a godsend. They have something like I want to say at least 50 movies that you can watch. There's a lot. With the title, you would think that it's mostly like martial arts films, which there are martial arts films. I think Ip Man 4 is on there, which is very new, or at least as far as I'm concerned, it's new. There's a bunch of everything. There's one movie that I can't get myself to watch, which is Jet Li in the Bruce Lee yellow outfit, but he's fat. He's in a fat suit. So whatever that movie is, I'm sticking to Korean right now. Japanese, they have Japanese films, they have Chinese films, they have Korean films. There's a couple on the list for who would like that. Machine Gun Girl, Tokyo Blood, Tokyo Gore Police. Those are movies that they're on that service, but they're not Korean. And I've really fallen in love with Korean cinema. Bud Blue, please call me back. And if any of you know of any outlets that have Korean films that have English subtitles, that's important. My uncle has a lot of stuff without subtitles, which is kind of frustrating. I really want to see the original. Yes. Oh, I didn't say that before about The Housemaid. The Housemaid is a 1960 or 1956. I want to say 60 because 2010 would be a 50-year anniversary. It is on a Scorsese collection on the Criterions, which is about $50. That and about four or five other movies. And I've heard it's incredible. And if Scorsese says it's incredible, I'll tend to take his word for it. But from what I've heard from the original Housemaid is that it's different. The housemaid in the original is, I don't want to say evil, but the villain of the story. Kind of strange that as I said that something happened behind me, but that about does it. An hour, 23 minutes talking about 6 movies. That's about 20 minutes a movie when I really had fucking blah, 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 blah. So whenever this calms down and whenever I can shave my face and maybe treat my teeth, I'll be back and do something else. But in the meantime, I'll be watching Hiya again, which I strongly suggest try. They do have a free trial. Joint security area or just JSA. That's Japanese as well, right? I think that is on there. That's right. The remake pretty much takes the sexuality and subtext of the original and brings it to the surface. Yeah. What did I read? I read somewhere that the stairs played a major part in The Housemaid, that upstairs and downstairs. Again, something with speaking to class. Tubi, which is free, has a lot of Korean cinema as well as Asian cinema in general. Does it have subtitles? Is a better question. Thank you, Dale, for sticking around. Always appreciate you giving me the support. There's a strong delay. I'll get it on the flip side. So I don't know what's next. I am working on the 2020 video, although it's audio only. The patrons will decide whether or not that sees the light of day. So, okay. Yes, subtitle. Oh, really? Haas loves it. Okay. There's a strong opinion. All right. So that does it for now. As long as this doesn't explode, and I don't know, the pain subsides to a certain degree, and I can touch my. In case you haven't noticed, I don't touch my. I have an overbite, so it looks like my teeth are touching, but they're not. I have a tremendous overbite, and when my teeth touch, it feels like lightning just going up and down. Once that stops, maybe I'll be able to create content on a stream like basis, and fuck, I don't know. Thank you so much for watching. We will be back at some point in the future. But thank you for watching. I suggest all of these, give them a whirl. If you don't like them, I didn't make them.